Perek of Beis. This is the shiur from Sunday, ahead of Shvat, yeah? Just give me one split. Let me tell you what's going on. What's going on is, the Alter Rebbe is talking about two issues. Achdas Hashem, which was Chaf in the first half of Chaf Aleph. Achdas Hashem first means that the whole world is insignificant because it's created only from a word. Chaf Aleph, the Alter Rebbe said, not only is the world insignificant because it's created only from a word, but this word, which supposedly the Eibishter spoke when he created the world, he never said, Dibur Shalai Kipshute. Remember, Tzimtzum Kipshute, the words never left him. Therefore, the world is still godly. And on page Chav Zayin, 6 lines from the top, it says, Ve'in shum shinu klal lefanav yizbarach. Hashem, there's no change whatsoever. El ala bruim, only to creations. Hamekablam chayusam mebechinas diburi yizbarach. The way we feel, we exist. The way we feel, the world exists. From our point of view that we exist, from our point of view that the worlds exist, we're real. And what is real? A world with a limited amount of divine light. Why does it have to be a limited amount of divine light? So they shouldn't become bottle. Higher worlds have more light, lower worlds have less light, and so forth. But even the highest world is also not real. Since Simsim Shlai Pshuta, even the highest world is really called about Smusa. You follow what I'm saying? But from our point of view, there are worlds. From our point of view, there are worlds. And what's the difference between one world and another world? From our point of view, one world has more light and less Metzias, another world has less light and correspondingly more Metzias, and that's the difference between one world and the next. But Lagabe the Eibishter is not real. Perek of Beis Rak. So Perek of Beis begins, it's only that even though Lagabe the Eibishter, nothing exists. Kaden come to the Levushim Mineu Bay like a turtle whose garment is one with himself. It's only from our point of view that the worlds exist. But you should know it's not only from our point of view the world exists. It's also Sha'teira Dibra Kaloshen V'neyada. The Teira speaks in the language of man. V'nikra b'Teira. And in the Teira it is called the words that Hashem speaks when He supposedly creates the world. The so-called creates the world is called speech, b'shem diba mamish, like speech mamish, because it's kitibur shalom, like a person speaks. Just like when a person speaks, the words are separated from him, and now you have a separated mitzias. When Hashem speaks and creates the world, from our point of view, that the words happen, there are worlds. Says the Alter Rebbe, lefisha be'emes kachu, because the truth is that this is the way it is. That derech yiridas v'amshachas achayis, the way the life descends and is drawn down to the lowest levels, b'tzimtzumim rabim v'atzumim, with many and intense symptoms. Top of page 54 now. Minim shenim of all different types. Li'bades mehem, to create through them. Bruim rabim, various creations. Minim shenim of all different types. So since, first of all, we see the world as separate, so the Torah describes creation as dibur. Second of all, that be'emes kachu. What's the diak be'emes kachu? I think, I don't know, but I think that the diak be'emes kachu is like this. The Alter Rebbe here is adding a gewaldige, wichtige and serious nekuda. That is, that we say that from Hashem's point of view, nothing exists. From our point of view, things exist, but our point is a lie. Here the Alter Rebbe adds, not only from our point of view things exist, from Teida's point of view things exist. And Teida is not a lie. In other words, in as much as Teida is concerned, there's reality to our point of view. Everything is alakus. Yes, we exist, but our existence is false. He says, Teida dibik Elohim in the Adam. In the framework of Teida, or to say it on a deeper level, in as much as the purpose of creation, which is the Teida, is concerned, even though the Tzimtzum of the Shlai Pshuta is truth to our existence. So the way I'm teaching you these few lines is to say that not only are we real as far as we're concerned, we're real as far as Teida is concerned. So, does Atzilus exist? Does Ishtalshlus exist? To Hashem not. To us, yes. And Teida says that as much as we fulfill Hashem's purpose, Teida says we're also true. But in this idea, that from our point of view, we're real, and from Hashem's point of view, we're not real, there's two basic levels. In this idea that we're discussing now, that from Hashem's point of view, everything is still godliness. From our point of view, we exist, there's two basic levels. The first level is Hishtalshlus of Oilimus of Kedusha. There's a higher world and a lower world, an inner world and an outer world. But all of those worlds, for better or for worse, for more or for less, no God. But then there's a second level. What's the second level? Where the Hishtalshlus descends so low that it creates things that deny Hashem. Nothing exists. But from our point of view, and also debated that the worlds exist, there's these two categories. A, the worlds of Kedusha, which is discussed in Perek Chav Aleph. B, the worlds of Klippa, which is going to discuss right now. And we continue now without any further ado. Like the Alter Rebbe. I'm sorry? Teira is the Chochmah of the Eibishter, yes. And within the perimeter of the Chochmah of the Eibishter, the world is real. Or to say it differently, the way I like to say it is, Teira says that when you're doing Yiddishkeit, the Eibishter gives you reality. You know, what's the difference between a dollar bill and a gold coin? A gold coin is inherently valuable. A dollar bill's value is because people give it value. In Lashon of London, it's achshaveh. You give it achshivas. La'olam, we're not real. Teira says, you have reality. I give you reality. The Eibishter gives reality as much as the Kavanah is concerned. In other words, Hashem says we don't exist. We say we exist, but it's false. Teira says that as much as Yiddishkeit is concerned, that the Eibishter is saying, even though you're not real, I give you a reality. You hear the Gedan? But now we begin to talk about Klippas. Says the Alter Rebbe, V'kol kach govru v'otzma tzimtzum. That this idea that there are tzimtzums, higher levels and lower levels, more contraction and less contraction, that from our vantage point is real, and Teira also says it's real. These tzimtzumim continue so much. The hester ponimol yenim, the concealment of the countenance of Elokus. Add to the extent sheyuchel, that it's possible lehishavus ulehibares, to create gam dvarim tmeim, even things which are unclean, or klippus, things which their connection to Hashem is covered over. V'sitra acher, and things that are from the other side, mean they're not bottled to the Eibishter. That the Eibishter created so many tzimtzumim that he's able to create things that are against the Eibishter. Now you know the rule by now, I'm sure, that the Kabbalistic approach is that there's no such thing as neutral. If you're not pro-God, you're anti-God. The Nekuda is you're not bottled to the Eibishter, so you're Tumah, Klippa, and Sitra acher. So Eibishter makes tzimtzumim. Yes, of course we know this is only our point of view. But from our point of view, the Eibishter made tzimtzumim, there's klippas. And these klippas deny Hashem, and at the same time, ulekabel chayusam v'kiyumam, they get their life, which means their neshama. V'kiyumam, their existence, which means their guf. Midvar havaya v'ruach piv, from the words of Hashem's mouth and the air of Hashem's mouth. Yisbarach, blessed be He. Dvar Hashem v'ruach piv would be like the sounds that you make and the air that amplifies those sounds. So just like in words, there's the sounds and there's the air. In a creation, there's a guf and a neshama. I'm not sure which corresponds to which, but you have 2 points: chayes and kiyum, neshama and guf, and dvar havaya and ruach piv is, I think, guf and neshama. You follow? And the way it comes down is behester ponim, the concealment of Hashem's face. V'yididus hamadreig is in the sense from level to level. The Eibishter creates many, many things, and the tzimtzumim continue so much that it creates klippas. Now, a very important point: the words hester ponim are very critical. I'll tell you why. Because the word has been Hashem hides His face. The diuk in Hashem's hiding His face is the following: the natural condition of things is Hashem is revealed, unless Hashem hides. How do we look at it? The natural condition of things, Hashem is hidden unless He's revealed. The Alter Rebbe uses the lashon hester ponim, and the diuk of hester ponim. It's a variety of diuks, but one of the critical diuks in the word hester ponim is naturally the Eibishter is revealed, unless He conceals Himself. Klippa is created in a oifen of hester ponim. The pnimius of the Eibishter is covered over, and that's why you have a creation of Klippa. Continues the Rebbe and he says, V'lachein, and this is the reason why Nikra lekim achedim, Klippa is called other gods. Now, what's a simple translation of other gods? Literally, stones, eight for Evan, Kesef is of Nanashkeit. Chassidus translates lekim achedim means lekim means Hashem, achedim in a way of acharayim. Mipnei, because they're nursing v'chayusam in their life. Einam bechinas ponim, they don't get from the face of Hashem, which I'll explain momentarily. El bechinas acharayim, the kedusha from the back of kedusha. What's the difference between the face and the back? He translates. Upirash acharayim, the translation of the Eibishter giving us from his back is ka'adam, like a man. Haneis and davelas seini, gives something to one he hates. Shalai b'tzeini, if I have to give someone money and I hate him, or I have to give someone a gift and I hate him, so I do it against my wishes. So how do you do it? He throws it to him over his shoulder. He turns his face and his inner dimensions away from that person, because he hates him so much. So sometimes you give a guy $1, but when you give the guy $1, give him a smile. The $1 is that you can buy a bagel. The smile is a piece of your life. Give the guy a dollar, turn your back to him, you gave him a dollar, and that's it. Pnimius of the Eibush, also doesn't necessarily give a lot. But in Kedusha, the Eibush gives you whatever he gives you, but he gives you a piece of himself along with the little bit that he gives. In Klippa, he could be giving you even more, but it's a cherayim. You're getting only the dollar bill, you're not getting the Eibush. Kach, similarly, Lamaila, on high, Bechinas, Panim, what is the notion of the Eibush giving you in a Pnimius dik away? Who it is. Now get ready for this mantra, you're going to have it a bunch of times. Look at the next words. The next words are a statement. Pnimius haratzen ha'elyin v'cheftzei hamid. The inner will of God that He truly desires. And you'll see this lashon repeat itself over and over again. Asher chafetz Hashem, that Hashem wishes, Hashem desires to have. Lashpia chayes, to give life. L'chol hakol ve'elov, to everything that's close to Mesida, the Kedusha inside of holiness. If something is holiness, Hashem is chafetz. Hashem desires to give them life. And this is called pnimiyas haratzon ha'elyin, what He really wants. What is the requirement for Hashem to desire to give life? You remember? 2 things. Number 1, bittul. Number 2, because there's bittul, the Shechina rests. So in an environment where there's bittul and the Shechina rests, there's pnimiyas haratzon ha'elyin v'cheftzei hamid. Hashem wishes to give, so He gives an eifin of pnimiyas. So when I teach this to my boys, I give them a mashal about a king who has a great kingdom, and he's so good at what he does that he's much bored. So he makes an experiment. He takes 2 people, a son and his greatest general, and he says to his greatest general, I'm going to give you 90% of my land, 90% of my money, 90% of my infrastructure, 90% of my army, 90% of my people. Run a kingdom. He comes to his son. He says, you little boy, I'm giving you 10% of my land, 10% of my infrastructure, 10% of my kingdom, 10% of my army. One difference. I'm giving you myself. Come to me any time for advice. So these 2 kingdoms split up. So first of all, the general, what a joke. He was given everything. So first of all, he has a 180-day feast. Nobody works. They eat and drink and be merry. Aren't we wonderful? The son is thinking to himself, this general's going to eat me up alive. So he goes and he consults his father and develops survival strategies. You understand what happens? The general with the 90% keeps making stupid mistakes and wasting and splurging and not regenerating and not renewing and not using in a sustainable way. And in the beginning, he seems to be conquering the son. He reduces him from 10% to 5% to 2%, and he keeps withdrawing, but preserving the essence. And eventually the tide shifts because the general is ruining it. That's the marshal. You understand? And the nimshal is self-understood. The Eibishter gives $1 to Klippa. Maybe gives him $1 million, but that's all they have. A Yid gets a dollar bill, but he gets the Eibishter, and that's why Yid never die. That's Kiddush. You follow? In any case, so Klippa is called Acharayim. Acharayim means Hashem gives Chayas to Klippa, but He doesn't give Himself along with the Chayas. And Kedusha is called Panim, because Hashem gives to Klippa, to Kedusha, Himself. Says the Rebbe like this Rak, never then. There's an obvious question. If Hashem doesn't like Klippa, what does He make it for? If Hashem has something which He doesn't favor, and He therefore sustains it, and even if Acharayim don't make it, and the teretz is, Hashem wishes to punish evil men who do Avedas. And of course, to give good reward to the righteous who do good things, that bend Klippa. Because Hashem wants to have schar and oynish, reward and punishment, there has to be free will. Because there has to be free will, the Eibishter invents and sustains something that He hates, which is called Klippa. And this creation of Klippa, which Hashem makes and doesn't like, it's called the rear, the back of the Eibishter's supernal wind, Baruch Hu. It's Ratzon, it's not Chayfetz. He needs it, He doesn't want it. Okay?